Right now, I am afraid everything is still closed down. I've had my shot over a week ago, week and a half ago, the first one, and I hear other people in Chicago are getting their shots as well for the coronavirus. That doesn't mean that everybody can just walk around without masks and everything is fine now. That's never the case. Let's not try to make this easier on people, right? So I hope everyone is doing well in their quasi-seclusion still, but I thought that I would take this opportunity to read to you a few women-themed poems from a book. I often would start an open mic by reading select poems, usually from a Scars Publications book, either short pieces by other people or a couple of pieces of my own that were there. But right now, I'm not going to share a Scars Publications book, but actually a book from the other side of the planet that was produced. It was released in late January. A printer, cyberwit.net in India, released a 137-page book of my poetry, and it is titled Eternal Never-Ending Now. And I really think this is cool. It has in the end of the book the first poem I ever wrote, and it has a very, very recent poem of mine in the back of the book as well, and things are divided into different sections, and it's really cool. And even for the past month I used the photo that was on the back cover of my picture as my Facebook photo just to commemorate this book release. So I thought I'd share with you a few women-themed poems that were in this book. I hope you appreciate them, and I hope that everyone is doing well right now as I share these poems with you. This first one is a poem that's titled Right There by Your Heart, but this is just verses 2 and 6. So brace yourself, right there by your heart. Have you ever had that feeling before? You know, the one where someone's telling you something that you don't want to hear, like if someone's about to tell you that someone died and you knew what they were going to say but you still didn't want to hear it. Or if someone did something terrible to you that you didn't like when you were little and the kids at the bus stop shot pebbles and spitballs at you every day because you were smart and you just had to ignore them and just hope that this would all go away after being teased every single morning. And when that happens, it feels like there's a medium-sized rock and it just fell into the bottom of your stomach, and you don't want to move because you're afraid that that rock is going to hurt the inside of your stomach, and so you just have to sit there and hope that that rock goes away. Or else you get that feeling in your chest, right there by your heart. You know, and it feels like it's going to, it's pressing on the bone there and just tearing your body inside out, and you're not going to be able to take that pressure, that force any longer. I don't know how many times the idea of seeing him went through my mind. At least once a week I'd imagine a scene where he'd confront me and I'd somehow be able to fight him back, to show him that he didn't bother me anymore, to show him that rock wasn't in my stomach anymore, to somehow prove that I was no longer a victim anymore. I was a survivor, you see, because victim sounds too trying for someone who's been raped. So I keep saying I'm over it, but I keep imagining Mark all over again, not raping me, but following me on the street, coming to my door with flowers, or sending me a valentine. But once, when I was going into a record store and I was walking in, and I saw him walking out, just as I was walking in, that rock fell so hard that I thought I was going to be sick right there by that cash register, right there by those metal things at the doorway that beep when you try to take merchandise out of the store. And you know what those things are. I just can't think of what they're called. But if I did that, then he'd know that he was still winning to this day. How many years has it been? How many years since he did that to me? How many years since I've been wanting to fight him, since I've been feeling this rock in my goddamn stomach? I managed to hide my face from him as he was leaving the store so that he didn't see me when he walked out. When I saw that he was gone, I wondered why I still felt that pressure on my chest. I thought that pressure was going to turn my body inside out. I reached for my heart, grabbed at my shirt. Maybe that pain was always there, right there by your heart, but I try not to go through it and think about it until I go through times like those. I hope you guys think that is cool, ladies and gentlemen. I think that I need a light, and there is no light here, so I'm getting out of my school seat, and I just got a little desk lamp, and I'm at my school table. I'm going to see if this desk... Holy cow, that's awfully bright. I don't know where to put this light. I'm going to figure something out, though, and I'm going to find a way to be able to see what I'm reading for the rest of the night. That'll be a fun challenge, right? Let's see if we can put this lamp up here. Will it stay if I put it up here? Should have had this set up, I'm sure. That's called planning. We'll see how that works. That's a light source. We'll see how that is for you guys. Sorry about that delay, but the light wasn't right in here, and I was trying to read from this book, which is titled Eternal Never Ending Now. Voila. It's got this little river and trees and reflecting the water on the front of it. But anywho, the second poem is the women-themed poems. I'm just going to read you like 4 or 5 of them toward the beginning of this book. This next one is a poem that some of you may know. I've read it on television here at Navas TV for Austin Television for public access, which has been on the air 5 times since that first television airing, actually. But this poem is titled The Burning. I take the final swig of vodka and feel it burn its way down my throat, hiss at it scorching my tongue, and reach for that bottle to pour myself another. I think of how my tonsils scream every time I let the alcohol rape me. And then I look down at my hands, shaking, holding that glass of poison, and think of how these were the hands that should have pushed you away from me, but didn't. And I keep wondering why I took your hell, took your poison. I remember how you burned your way through me. You corrupted me from the inside out, and I kept coming back. I let you infect me, and now you've burned a hole right through me. I hated it. And now I have to rid myself of you. My escape is flowing between the ice cubes in the glass nestled in my palm. But I have to drink more. The burning doesn't last as long as you do. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, these are women-themed poems that appear toward the beginning of the book Eternal Never Ending Now. And I've got, because I worked as an acquaintance rape workshop facilitator for years, I've got a slew of these kind of poems over the years, and these are some of the cooler and different ones. This next one that I'm going to share with you is a poem that starts with a quote from an essay writer named Bob Lamb, and he actually contacted me years later when he saw that I quoted him in his, feminist paper for a rape poem that I did, and he was honored and touched and thought it was the coolest thing. I'm cool and pleased that he saw it and he was pleased with it. This poem is called Women's Very Existence, and it starts with this quote from Bob Lamb from an essay in 1976. The quote is, "Rape is neither a sex crime or a crime of passion. Rape is not an isolated, brutal crime against women. Rape is often premeditated. Rape is a crime of violence rather than sex. It is a crime of violence against women. It is an attack by men on women's bodies, on women's feelings, on women's very existence." I still have to take showers a lot. I mean, every once in a while, no matter how clean I am to the rest of the world, I have to go take a shower. I lock all the doors, I close the shades on the windows, I put a towel over the bathroom mirror, turn the water on, piping hot so that steam is billowing out of the bathtub. I finally undress open the curtain, put my foot in it, but burn my foot with the water. I wish I could just hold my foot there just a little longer. I turned on the water and wait for it to cool down, and then step in, and then just put my head under the shower head. Hold my head there for a while. Catch my breath. Get the soap. Start scrubbing. I use the soap first and then the bath brush. I scrub off a layer of skin. I know this makes no sense. My skin is red from the heat, from the scrubbing. But I know I'm not getting it off. It's down there. The molecules are embedded deep inside of me, and I'll have to rip my skin off, pull out my organs before it goes away. But for now, all I can do is take showers. There are a few more, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and they do go on different issues, but as I had said, I worked as a acquaintance rate workshop facilitator, so I have to give you at least one more on that theme before we talk about sexism in general. This is one, and people that aren't in Chicago don't know the L train, so sorry, that one gets lost on them, but this is a thing for my open mic that was on Wednesday nights at Gallery Cabaret at the Blue Line stop right there, so this works for you guys. Thumbs up. This is a poem that's called White Knuckled. The hot air was sticking to her skin, almost pulling, tugging at her very flesh as she walked outside, down the stairs from the train station. Just then a breeze, hot and sticky, hit her in just the wrong way, brushed against her lower neck, and she felt his breath again. Not his breath when he raped her, but his stench, hot, rank, when he was just close to her. Her breath quickened, like the catch of her breath when she's just stopped crying. All the emotion is there, not going away. She walks down to the bottom of the stairs, railing white-knuckled by her small, tender hands, the hands of a child. And that 90-degree breeze suddenly gives her a chill. They say when you get a chill, it means a goose walked over your grave. But she knows better. She knows it is him walking, and that he trapped that child in that grave. The emotional stuff, I do what I can, right? It's my specialty. I was going to read one poem for you, and then maybe I'll do two more, and they'll be shorter ones, I guess, page-long poems. And they don't relate directly to rape, but they do talk about women's issues. This one is, titled Thank You, Women Who Work. And this is number one in a two-part series of poems about this, because I believe I quoted Pope John Paul II in one of his letters to women. And this first one, I think this is fun, is a quote, and I will start with a quote from Pope John Paul II on July 10th, letter to women, message from His Holiness. And his quote is, "Thank you, women who work. In this way, you make an indispensable contribution to the growth of a culture which unites reason and feelings to a model of life ever open to the sense of mystery." Thank you, women who work, because you take on the responsibilities of men while still having to be mothers, wives, good little daughters, and female creatures. Thank you, women who work, because you are the ones that we can always blame when the family falls apart. Thank you, women who work, because you make a point to do more than your fair share, even though no man would do the same for you. Thank you, women who work, for you know that you'll have to just prove yourselves over and over and over again, and that still isn't enough. So, keep up the good work, ladies. Oh, that was my good angry women's issues poem, actually quoting a pope. That's great. Sorry. And oftentimes I would do things like I'd find studies or I'd learn of things and I'd write a poem. And that is why this last poem, which is another women's issues one, but doesn't relate to quotes from the Pope or essay writers talking about feminism, this was after learning about a study. And this is a short one and it's titled The Men at the Construction Site. A woman told me that scientists did an experiment where a woman first walked past a construction site with her head down. No one bothered her. No one noticed her. Everyone left her alone. Then, later in the day, she walked past again, in the same outfit, with the same clothes. But this time, she walked with her head up, more confidently. And that's when she got the calls, the whistles from the men at the construction site. And you tell me it's not deliberate. And you tell me it's not an effort to keep women in their place. That is all I'm going to share with you, because normally the open mic would be starting from 7 to 9 on Wednesday nights, and I would read material because we had to close by 9, so I would have to start things and get things going if I was by myself before we had 3 people to start up an open mic. But then sidekick Bob Brashkow, of course, would be there. Joffrey would be there, and he'd always be the first one to read on my list. May he rest in peace. And by this time there would be people around, and I would be able to be inviting them into the open mic as well. And I double plus feel terrible because I just saw a new person coming on to listen to my reading. Louise, hello. I was reading the Women's Issues poems. Should I read this one last one for you? I don't know if she can hear me or not, but I'm going to. I'm going to read this one. It's the final one, and it's about women's issues stuff, and this poem is titled The Men at the Construction Site. A woman told me that scientists did an experiment when a woman first walked past a construction site with her head down. No one bothered her. No one noticed her. Everyone left her alone. Then, later in the day, she walked past again in the same outfit with the same clothes. But this time, she walked with her head up, more confidently. And that's when she got the calls, the whistles from the men at the construction site. So you can't tell me that it's not deliberate. And then you tell me it's not an effort to keep women in their place. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I would be closing it off before 7:30 for the open mic for the Cafe Gallery on Wednesday nights because there would be people signed for the list and start reading, so I'm going to adhere to that. So I want to thank everyone, because you're double plus awesome. I hope everyone is staying safe, whether or not you had your shot like I did last week, whether or not some of the other people that are watching live got their shots already as well. That doesn't mean that everything opens up instantly. So I hope everyone is staying safe. I hope everyone is staying poetically inclined. And if you're still feeling trapped or alone, just remember that you are loved and you will get through this all. We all will. You hang in there. And for people who don't know, the open mic for Poetic License, which is not the Cafe Gallery, but for Poetic License that I run here in Austin, is running on the first Sunday of the month because everyone but one person said they wanted me to do it. I'll host it if you can't make it. So on Easter Sunday, I will be running Poetic License open mic through a Zoom meeting. You can find it from a Facebook event page as well. I would like to see everyone there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Stay safe, stay poetically inclined, and I will talk to each and every one of you very, very soon. Thank you very much.